Whoom. Beep.
How long are we going to be going whoomp?
That might, we might put that on a t-shirt.
That's going to stick. Yep.
Just whoom.
Just
I'll put on a little breast patch right here. Just whoom. How would you spell that?
WOOOHM. Whoom.
Whoom. Whoom.
Or maybe just WOHM. Whoom. Like but whoom.
Yeah.
Whoom.
Yeah. WOHM. Whoom. Welcome back.
I could spell fake words.
To the Lousy Show.
To the Lousy Show. I'm Joe.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch last week's episode of Tfue.
Yep.
I think specifically story 3.
I already forgot. We just recorded it for
yeah, I can tell you.
It's not.
Story 3.
Story 3.
Yeah. Go watch story 3. You'll understand. Whoom.
Whoom.
Oh, man. As always, we hope you're having a lovely beginning to your week. It is Tuesday after all. And we are enjoying ourselves as well. Lovely day here recording for you all. And while we're doing this, while you're watching, as the video is playing, if you're on computer, mobile, or even TV, you can do this while the video continues to play. Click the subscribe button and like the video.
Yep.
And if you're feeling spicy, go in the description, join the Discord.
And if you're feeling even spicier, you can join our membership for $2.99. Get some dope emotes.
But less spicy, more fun. Drop a comment.
Is that more fun?
Well. Yeah, no, what would be the closest to a light? Drop the toilet emote. There you go. Drop that in the comments.
Out of context, we're going to be like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Oh, man.
These guys are on crack.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun to record. That was a good one.
Yep. Definitely beats that Am I the Asshole recording we did.
Oh my God, dude.
It was rough.
I think I might have scared people, to be honest with you, when the title I put on there, because it's like,
you should have just put the title "We Quit."
honestly, that was a rough video to do. If you haven't watched it, specifically the one we're referencing is the siblings episode of Am I the Asshole. Go watch it. There's a lot. I feel like some of those stories could have aligned with like an Evil Moms episode.
Yeah.
I think it's overbearing mothers.
For like when it's family related, typically the whole family's involved in the bullshit. So
yeah.
It's not just siblings. Sometimes it's mom, sometimes it's dad, sometimes it's grandma, so.
Admittedly, I will say this, when it comes to Am I the Asshole, we're going to have to start diversifying how we find keywords for this stuff.
Yeah.
Because like we're getting to a point now where we'll say, oh yeah, let's do this. And we'll like type that word in. But some stories we've already read pop up and we're like, oh.
Yeah.
Well. And it has nothing to do. Do what?
I said we've officially been doing this a little bit too long now.
Oh yeah. I'll say it has nothing to do with any of the different like topics we've done before.
Nope.
How many have we released at this point? We don't number them.
Of Am I the Asshole?
Yeah.
But we can look in the playlist.
True.
Let's see.
58.
That's it? I feel like it's so many more.
That's over a year, dog.
I know, but it's like I just feel like it's so many more than that. Like I don't know if it's just because, I don't know. It just feels like we've done like 100. Maybe it's just like 100 since it's 4 stories. We've done 200 and however many actual stories.
Sorry, 59. The most recent one hasn't been put in there yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at no, it's in there. Never mind.
I feel like I put it in there. I usually do.
Yeah, no, it looks like a lot of them are in there. Yeah.
Whatever. But
I don't know. Hope y'all are still enjoying Am I the Asshole.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're enjoying it for sure. So,
except for the weeks when it does get heavy
like every now and then, it sucks. But that's kind of why we did Tifu, so to help balance it out.
It's the mediator.
Yep.
Oh Lord. Now we do enjoy Am I the Asshole, and that's something I've noticed lately. Like, it ebbs and flows with Am I the Asshole stuff because we're so niche to that one like column of Reddit, whereas like you have other channels that do just full Reddit readings. Like, prime example, Smosh.
Yeah.
Like, Smosh does full Reddit readings, and the one thing that I find is interesting is like when you like at first we saw a lot of success from it, and I've noticed it slowly slowed down, partially due to the fact that the algorithm of YouTube has really geared towards, I think we made mention of this before, like I'm gonna go help this homeless person and give them $10,000 and change their life. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like the clickbaity bullshit of that. Like we don't fit in that realm. And that coupled with the niche is just, we're going to keep doing it because we love it, but it definitely hurts.
It'll take a while to find our audience, but we'll get there. Like, we've already found a great audience, so it's just expanding on that. So tell your friends and then their friends.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, you know what to do.
I could not agree more.
Yep.
Could not agree more. But that has nothing to do with today's topic.
Nope. Which is very on brand for us.
One would say yes.
Yep.
This was actually a topic not recommended to us by anyone particular. This was one that, ironically, a robot recommended us.
Yeah. we got the best ideas from ChatGPT. That's how we should title it. I'm sure we can get a few extra.
What?
Yeah.
No, to be more specific, we as creators, and if you're a creator out there, you should definitely be using this tool as well. It is fucking fantastic. We as creators use something called vidIQ. And if you have vidIQ Pro package, which unlocks a massive treasure trove of tools, one of which is it analyzes your channel and spits out ideas at you that would fit to allow YouTube's algorithm to find your niche and promote you to those people. Well, one of those things, Sam, go ahead.
Well, we already kind of do this, but it's not a dedicated whole episode for this. And that's basically just telling embarrassing stories. And Joe especially has many. So it's going to be a lot of him talking. No, just kidding. But we are, I don't know the best way to say this. I don't want to say like interesting, because then that kind of seems almost self-centered of me, but like we have unique experiences through life.
I got you. We have had very cinematic like lives, where when things happen to us, the detail involved is very interesting, and very, very specific to the story.
Yep.
So much, in fact, that especially in our most embarrassing moments, the detail paints the picture perfectly. And yes, I have my fair share of these.
He does actually have more.
Yes. So here's what we're going to do. I knew going into this that you did not have as necessarily as many as I do. So, since I know I'm going to be talking a little bit more, I want you to not only pick out the stories about you, but I'm trusting you to pick out the stories for me. Now, if by the end of this, there's one that I'm like, you know what, this is one I think would be really good, I'll throw it in. But you know me well enough after 20 very long, arduous, incredibly wild years. I feel like you could pull some golden ones.
Got a couple. I'll of course omit a couple of the worst
Thank
ones.
You. Thank you.
That I will never say. That one's between us.
Yep.
Or there's a few of them, I should say. But no, I will. I won't go too crazy on you. Really, that like there's one that jumps to mind straight away. So that'll probably be the first story that you tell.
I'll let you decide. Would you like me to tell first or you tell first?
I'll go ahead and start. I actually had a recent embarrassing story that I'm still kind of reeling over, but I feel like if I say it out loud, it'll be a therapy of sorts, and I can move past it, and people totally won't laugh at me or something. But this is one actually that does not involve you. This is very recent. It's like up here recent. So
sure.
So that you'll be along for the ride, along with the viewers as well. But so my wife and I held a housewarming party. We had just moved to the state, finally got like our furniture set up, and we'd like it was a few, like I think 2 months in, something like that. Because it took us a little while, get everything sorted, and then just schedules and whatnot. But we had invited basically our new neighbors, her brother, and then a couple of her classmates, because they actually live relatively close to here. For reference, my wife's currently in a doctoral program, so part of her cohort came over. And so it was neighbors who were a little bit older, but very like kooky, I guess. Like they're very much themselves, and they don't give a fuck who cares. Like, they're very proud to be themselves, and they're awesome for it. We had her brother, who's a former Navy SEAL, and his wife, and then their 2 kids. We also had actually another friend of hers from a few hours away that came in with her kid. One of the cohort guys came with his daughter, and then one of the other ones couldn't make it. But so, there's a couple people. It was basically like first time we've really ever talked, right? And so I'm making a spread for everybody, bunch of meat, pulled pork, ribs, whole nine. It was awesome. Came out very good. The guy from the cohort has a daughter, like I mentioned, and she's like 5, like she's about your son's age, a little bit younger. And super shy though, like, wouldn't say hi to anybody, and that's totally fine. We backed off. Nice thing about our house is it's a rental, but it came with a swing set. So they went outside to play with the swing set. Everything was all hunky-dory. I go outside. My neighbors are out there. We're just chatting. I'm checking on the meat on the barbecue. And they're still on the swing set. So basically he's pushing her on the swing set. And she's having a blast. Right?
Yeah.
Absolute blast. But there's like kind of a lull in conversation. And so I'm like, all right, she's a bit more comfortable with us now. Let me see if, just try to be friendly, right? And so my fucking dumbass says, she's on the swing set. So I'm like, oh, wow, you're going so high. Are you like a professional swinger or something? And then just immediately I was like, it's like swing setter or something. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I just face palm so hard, just immediately. Fortunately, everybody took it pretty fun. Like, I was like, yep, that was phrasing was great there. Yeah. Didn't feel good about that one. at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume so.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't there.
Oh, you would have. I would be dead.
Oh, dude.
Like you would have
I
ripped me
would
a
never
new
let
one.
you hear the end
Like,
of it.
Yeah.
Oh, professional swinger.
Swinger.
Did your brain just not compute that one? Like,
apparently, like I wasn't like drunk or anything. Like just, sometimes how English does in English.
yeah, sure.
I think I just got a really unfortunate scenario of that.
Apparently. And you know what? Professional swinger. What did the parents say?
He just kind of looked at me. Him and I have talked like once before, and he's a funny guy. Like, he totally wasn't weirded out about it or anything like that. But he just kind of was like, because he couldn't like fuck with me too much, like he was pushing his daughter on the swing. So, yeah. I'm sure the next time I see him, if I ever do see him again, which I'm sure I will, I'll get it. It'll be an interesting conversation.
Imagine someone at that party was like, actually, oh, you're not talking to me. Okay, shit.
Yeah.
Well, we have a whole new thing to talk about.
Somebody's
Also,
like, upside down pineapple t-shirt.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, that was the worst.
You get to live with that now.
Yeah. And I'm putting it on the internet too.
I'm changing your name in the Discord. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God, please don't.
All right. What am I talking about first?
My favorite story for you to tell is the funeral procession.
Shit.
It's up there. It's not it's by no means the most embarrassing story he has, but it's an up there one.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I remember this well.
How could you forget? Because I definitely can't.
Ironically, this aligns with what we talked about at the beginning of the episode.
Maybe that's why I thought of it, because I'm already got a predisposition to.
All right. Journey begins in a tavern. No, so this was high school.
Yep.
And this was senior year.
It's either junior or senior.
Junior year. It was junior year. I remember it was junior year because senior year I drove a 91 Saturn SC to yeah. My junior year is when I drove the boat.
Yep. Such a good car.
Yeah. So there's details of the story that I have to provide. It'll all make sense in the long run. Yeah, about junior year of high school, I'll say I was about 17. And Sam and I played in a band. You'll never be able to hear the music for this. I'm not even going to disperse the name because this was a band that probably should have died in its infancy, if I'm being real with you.
It was the first band, so
yeah,
a lot of learning happened there.
We took it way too fucking seriously.
Yep.
But we played in this band and there were 6 members. It was myself and Sam. It was our drummer Tyler. Sam was a guitarist. I was bassist. We had 2 other guitarists named Sean and Cody, and then we had a vocalist named Amber. And this particular day, only 4 of us showed up for practice. It was me, Sam, Tyler, and Cody. And our usual thing was every Saturday we would get together and we would practice for like 6 hours. Hindsight, we didn't really fucking practice.
Yeah, it wasn't really. It was like maybe like an hour of practicing what we've already made and then kind of riffing for new stuff and then fucking around for the rest of the time.
Yeah. So in tradition, we would always around lunchtime, we would always go to either get Hardee's, McDonald's, or
That was usually
Wendy's?
it. No, we didn't do Wendy's. I wasn't really.
I know McDonald's was our frequent because
Yeah,
it was cheap.
Yeah.
So we went to McDonald's, and as we're at McDonald's, we took my car, and the car that I drove at that time was a 1988 Lincoln Town Car, white with a white rag top, boat of a fucking car.
So it was massive. Had no
I was
business being so big.
Yeah, I was in high school driving this vehicle. I was like,
Fucking land yacht.
yeah. And that motherfucker cruised on the highway, just floating. So we took my car. I drove, of course. We go to McDonald's. As we leave McDonald's, as McDonald's does to anybody's gut, my stomach went, and I went, oh God. And I thought it was a fart. So I burp, and as I burp, I feel the bubbles, and I went, oh no. So instead of me turning as we're heading back, that we would turn left on this back street and then turn left again, and it would take us all the way out into the country where we were practicing. Instead of doing that, I bypassed that and went straight to the next gas station, run in, do my business.
For context, let's back it up for a second. That initial incident, we'll call it, fucking reeked. It was the worst it's ever been. Like, honestly, it was so bad. So we're gagging in the car, and I'm pretty sure you locked the fucking windows or something too. Like, I don't know if you could in that car, honestly, but like you did something.
Yeah, I may have to fuck with y'all at that point. So I dart off into the gas station. I come back out and get in the car. Everything's all hunky dory. And as we go to take off again, I feel the just burp. So I just burp. And again, absolutely reeks. This time, however, this stench lingered.
Yeah.
The first one dissipated pretty quick, I would say. The second one did not stop. So we're driving on down the road, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody in the car was just like, yo, who shit themselves?
Pretty sure it was
and I'm driving along. I'm like, yeah, it smells like ass in here, dude. So we get on down the back road. We hook onto the back highway, taking off. And this particular area of the back highway, it's a lot of straight stretch, just, 2-lane road. So one going this way, one going this way. And as we get on that road, I was just like, man, that smell's still lingering. It's bad. And that's when I kind of shifted and I went, oh. And I proceed to tell the guys, I think I shit myself. This is on the internet now. Oh my God.
It'll be there forever.
So the part of the road that we're going in, the road goes down a hill, bows to the right as it's going down, flattens out in the bottom. There's a water treatment plant just over to the left, and on the opposite side of the road there is a big cutout of gravel area where cars can typically, or trucks can typically get in there and rotate around and do like their maneuvers and whatnot.
Water treatment people, but
yeah,
a lot of people would like pull over there if they needed to.
Yeah. So I immediately hook it over there, and I hop out of the car. I run over, and there's a ditch that lines this big like gravel area. And we're right next to this highway, so cars are flying by. Well, my first and only thought was, I need to get these draws off me. So I rip my pants off, rip my drawers off, bare ass for the world to see. I clean myself up and yeet them into the fucking oblivion of the tree. That way I don't have them near me anymore. I'm not taking them with me. There was no dumpster in sight. I apologize. I go to put my pants back on. And here's where shit goes sideways. Even worse.
I also like to point out that when you toss the draws, it didn't go into oblivion. It hung on a very prominent tree, like on like a bare branch
Like
that
a
you could
like a
it
shitty
was
flag.
a flag in the wind, dude. It was
Yep.
not good.
So this happens. I go to put my pants back on, and I don't know if you've ever tried to like quickly put your pants back on one leg at a time, but you'll learn very quickly that one leg is definitely more balance enabled than the other, at least for me. And I found out very quickly that my right leg is not that leg. I have my left leg in. I go to, I have my right leg in. I go to put my left leg in. As I do, my balance just disappears. And I topple over reverse scorpion style with everything down below to see. And what happens as I do this? A funeral procession begins to drive by slowly. And as they do, you would think they're not going to see little old me over in the ditch. No, every single one of them was just like, and then I hear what sounds like someone like hyperventilating, and then another sounds like they're trying to beat up a fucking like heavy bag. And I look and I realize all three of them in the car are losing their shit. As not only have they witnessed me topple over half naked, but they see all of these people in a funeral procession witnessing this in real time, and they are losing their fucking minds.
I swear I couldn't breathe for a solid 3 minutes. Like, just,
yep.
Nothing coming in, nothing going out. Like, just paralyzed in laughter. And like, my head was purple. It wasn't good. But it was so fucking funny.
I got my pants on, quickly pulled them up, put everything away, hop in the car, and they were still laughing down the road. Like they couldn't fucking stop. Yeah.
So like long after we got back.
Yep. So, and that became a landmark for us.
Yeah.
Every practice we would drive by there and be like, there it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So, shitty situations.
Literally.
That's the things I do for this channel.
Well, here, let's balance it out a little bit. Is there any story that you would want me to tell of myself?
I have one for both of us. And you know which one it is.
I mean, there's a lot, so it could be a few different ones.
It's one of our favorites.
A lot of them are my favorite.
The canoe.
Oh. Yeah, that one's...
It's wholesome.
It's a bit wholesome. Yeah.
It's a fuck up.
Yeah, that one we definitely fucked up.
I think it's more embarrassing for me for what I had to do to get back.
Yeah.
Because I found out very quickly my ass does not fit in the rear window of a Toyota Tacoma. No. A story for you. Ooh.
Admittedly, a lot of these I've tuned out. Like I've forgotten, so.
Okay. I will let you choose. You can either talk about the canoe story.
Okay.
Dutch boy.
Oh God. I wonder if I can find that picture.
Or I can't, I'm not sure if you can tell. I'm going in levels here. Canoe, Dutch boy, or
oh hell no! I will never. No. I might actually have to beep a good bit of that, but we'll see.
You see a random break in the action, like, all right, we're back. Good.
No, I'll put polka music over it, but
fair.
Or maybe a random break. I don't know. I'll talk about the Dutch boy thing because
that one we
rough.
fucking grilled you for.
Oh god. So growing up as a kid, I always had super short hair, like buzz it every time. I didn't like fucking with it. And then I honestly can't remember why, but in middle school I started growing it out. And it was starting to get pretty long. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I had started growing it out, you know, got to kind of an awkward phase, but then, you know, kept growing it out, and it was like a good, like, kind of shaggy 70s style, I guess you could say. Like,
I will say you had really nice long hair.
Oh yeah,
that
long
was
hair
something
is
that
great.
yeah, like even when it got to like shoulder length, once it got past your ears, like it actually looked good.
Yeah, but while it's at my ears, it's not great. And what made it worse, and I'm gonna try to find the photo. I will post it if I can. Like, I'll put it here if I can find it. So I might need to, I'm sure you might have it hidden away somewhere, but if not, I think I might be able to find it. But for some reason, at one point, it was getting pretty long, and my dad was like, "Hey, you should cut your hair again," basically saying to cut my hair without saying to cut my hair, which is weird because like he didn't really ever care much, but like about stuff like that, but he did, and I wasn't really keen on it. And then he was like, "No, let's get it cut one more time, and then if you want to keep growing it out after that, totally fine." I'm like, all right. And so I'm pretty sure we went to the place in Walmart,
Yes,
in the Heights, we'll say.
Friends don't let friends go to Great Shits.
Yeah, I think it was even worse than Great Shits, honestly. Like, I don't think it was. I think it was like
no, that shit was Cost Cutters.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
and they were like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I don't want to be here." And so that was like, "Well, let's meet in the middle. Let's just take some length off of it. It'll still be kind of long, but just a little bit, you know, more professional, quote unquote." And so I agree, but God, this lady fucked me up. So it was straight across bangs in the front, straight down to like the 70s kind of like Dutch boy style, right? And so like I had this weird little poof of hair around my ears because I got gigantic ears too. And it was such a bad look. And then picture day was coming up. I think that's why he wanted to, come to think of it. But yeah, and it was so bad. And the problem with it is it stays kind of at that phase for what do you think, like probably 3-4 months maybe, like before it finally kind of gets past that weird awkward stage.
Yep.
And yeah, so I go to school the next day, and we usually like trying to think what we did in the morning, and
we all always corralled around the entrance to the auditorium.
That was in
our
high
group
school.
of friends.
That was in high school.
You did it in high school too.
I was high school. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I got sidetracked.
You did it in middle school?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The high school one was definitely the worst one. And yeah, I got flamed to eternity for that one. All mostly lovingly. Like, you know, it wasn't any like actual bullying happening over it, but
no, I remember this is the best way I can describe it if we can't find the picture. You remember the guy who'd be like she showers with Pantene, but I've got watermelon to keep me clean. Yeah. There's one that he does where he has a helmet of watermelon, and the shape that he has around is exactly what your hair looked like.
It's like Eric from that 70s show every now and then. Like his haircut sometimes is like that. And
yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be in control of my own hair now. And then after that I didn't cut, like, you know, I'd get the like dead ends trimmed off and like get it shaped a little bit, but it was I didn't touch it for a long time.
I think at that moment you actually like swore off haircuts for a long fucking time.
Yep. And then, I didn't actually like cut it again until 21 when I got it fully cut off again.
Yep. I remember that because I saw the pictures of that.
Yep. I do too.
You donated it.
Yep. Yeah. Cause
it was long.
It was
too.
definitely long enough for Locks of Love. Like it was, I think at that point it was, let's just try to kind of get a little bit like mid back.
It was mid back.
Yeah. It was long as shit. So if I had those photos, I'll post them up, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Yep.
Yep. That one's mine.
we'll do one more for me and then we'll wrap this up.
How about you pick one? I won't flame you.
Yeah, you go ahead. I put the power in your hands.
There's a lot that I won't let you.
give me three and I'll choose.
I'd like you to explain your thought process of the totally rad guitar Photoshop photos that you took. Which if you do, I will be posting on here. I'll be putting into the video. Or let's see. The ATV incident. Which ones? Do the ATV incident.
The ATV incident?
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't there. I want to
send me the message right now. Which ones you don't want me to talk about? I'm genuinely curious as to what you have cooking.
That was going to be like, of course, I don't know if that's how you spell it, but like, no, I wasn't actually going to do it.
Nope. Nah. No. Too many people know that story already. Yep. Nope.
Pretty sure it's just like me and like two other people.
And that's enough. That's far too many.
No, let's introduce it to thousands. No, just kidding.
So I'll tell the ATV incident.
The ATV one's pretty good.
So first of all, I would like to say, not to bring the room down, but one of my old best friends, Jared, rest in peace, unfortunately passed away a few years ago. He and I were a fucking tandem of tornado just fucking chaos, debauchery. Dude.
Like it was
always
two hyperactive ADHD but undiagnosed people
with way too much time on our hands.
With way too much time on our hands.
So, Jared lived up in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful area, beautiful drive up there. Like it's a great area to go to. A lot of hidden gems, if you will, up in that area for like places to eat and stuff. And I would frequent that area because our high school was between where I lived and where he lived. So like I would leave school and go hang out with him, that kind of thing. But this particular time was on a weekend. And he and I were going to link up to just hang out. I remember we were supposed to hang out and then we were going to go see a movie later that evening. Like we were going to meet with some other friends and all of us go to it was like a dollar theater kind of thing where we'd all just go like goof off, have a good time, watch a movie. So we, Jared had an ATV. Just a little, not like a massive, like fucking mud bogger, kind of ATV, but just like a little sporty one that you can use, like cut up some trails with and whatnot, have a good time. And while we were hanging out, I was just outside kicking around. I see this. And I'm like, hey, does that work? And he goes, no. Bear in mind, the Lincoln Town Car that I was driving in the last story, that's what I was driving at this time too.
Yep.
So keep that in mind.
The Lincoln Town Car is kind of like your golden era of just like ridiculous stories.
Yeah,
because a lot of the ones I was filing through were from that era. It's like the squirrel, like there's a lot of different things. And then I was also going to think about the possum. That was a different era, technically.
Mama, what is that? Oh God,
Happy Easter.
It was Easter. Shit, I forgot about that. Anyways, so I see this ATV and I'm like, Jared, does that work? And he goes, no, the battery's dead. And I was like, well, do you have a way to charge it? Like, let's do this. Let's have something to do. And he goes, no, I don't have the charger for it right now. I said, okay. And he and I are just kind of kicking around for a second. And I stare at the ATV. And this is where the 80 HDs that I have going on, all 80 of them were firing on all cylinders. And I stare at this, look at my car, look back at it, look back at my car. And I said, Jared, do you have any rope? And he said, no. And I said, do you have anything we can use to tow with? And he said, not really, no. I mean, would this work? And he points down at a very long, probably like 150 foot long yellow garden hose, like golden yellow garden hose. And I went, yes. And so I scoop it up and I went, I have an idea. I opened the trunk of my car. Now, much like many other cars, my spare was in the trunk underneath that plywood thing. I took it out and put it on top of the plywood. I tied the hose to the spare tire and slammed the trunk shut. Then took the other end of the garden hose and tied it to the front of the ATV. I then told him, I was like, I'll drive, you ride, grab your helmet. And he goes, I don't have one. And I went, fuck. But he then says, don't worry, just don't drive fast. Okay. Bear in mind, I'm a teenager.
Like
just give me some
17, I
credit.
think, at this point, maybe, like at best.
Yeah,
Like
I think
16,
I was
17.
fresh into 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because I had that until I was 18 and then had the Saturn in the back half of the year, like most of my senior year.
Yeah.
So I pull out of his driveway. He starts moseying along and we realize, holy shit, this works. It's working. It's towing the ATV with him on it. And we are cutting up. So where his road was, you turn onto his road and it's like, the best way I can describe it is you turn right on his road and the road shoots up a little hill and then immediately left, like 90-degree left turn. But in that left turn, it opens up into this little area. The road bends right. His house is on the right, and then it bends left again, and there's a long straightaway. Middle of the fields. You could see everything for fucking miles. It was beautiful out there. So we cutting this fucking road up, dude, having a good old time. Well, this particular moment, I turned us around. I'm driving back to his house. He's on the ATV. We are cooking. And I'm in the straightaway. And in the bend to his house, I see come around the corner is none other than our county's finest. You ever had your asshole vacuum seal itself shut?
It's like a reverse whoop. It's like a
What?
boom.
Yeah, kind of. That's what happened in that moment. And a split decision in my head. I go, oh shit. Maybe he won't see me.
In a land yacht.
So, yeah. Well, then I hear, because my window's down, I hear Jared yell, cops. And then you ever stretched a rubber band really far and that weird vibration sound makes that like that's the sound it made as he hit the fucking brakes on the ATV while I'm still driving, stretching this yellow garden hose, turning it into effectively one giant fucking slingshot. This thing snaps. Half of his garden hose shoots past his fucking head. The other half snaps and hits the back of my car, making me freak out, thinking something just hit me. And I see the cop. Whoop, whoop. And I immediately went, I can make it. And I stepped into the gas and right around the turn I went. I look at my rear view and I see Jared, and he just, as the garden hose flies past him, he cocks it to the right and coasts this thing. Mind you, he doesn't have any power, so he can't accelerate out of there. He just coasts it down into the little ravine right here and like parks it, and he's waiting. And so as I make the turn, I'm like, I can't let my bro go down like that. So I just fucking 180 it and go back. And as I pull up behind the cop. The police officer's already talking to Jared. I get out of the car and he goes, you can stay right there, son. And I was like, yes, sir. And he talks to Jared, and he comes to me. He goes, so you decided to come back, huh? And I went, yep. And he goes, I usually ask at this moment why I pulled you over. I don't think I have to ask you here. And I went, mm-mm. He goes, do you know what you were doing? And I went, and he just goes, okay. So at least you're complicit with the fact that this was a really dumb thing to do, right? And I went, And so he asked for my license. And as he gets my license, I was like, sir, I do apologize. Like, I'm a new driver. I just got my license. I think I had my license for like a couple months. I just got my license. Don't have any speeding tickets. I'm just trying to have a good day, and this was a dumb idea, and I fully admit that, and this will never happen again. He goes, yeah, no, we're gonna see about that, because this is grounds for me to just put you in the back of my car. And that's when my asshole completely sealed. So he runs my information, and he walks Jared over to me, and we're standing together, and he asks Jared for his ID, and Jared goes, I don't have my ID on me. He goes, well, what's your social? Jared gives him the social. He goes back to a squad car, comes back, gives me a license. He goes, you stand in the back of the car. I'm standing in the back of the car. He looks at Jared and he goes, you want to tell me your social one more time? He tells him his social. He walks back to a squad car, comes back. He goes, do you want to tell me your social this time? And Jared goes, that is my social. He goes, let me reference this for a moment. Jared, 6'6", grungy white dude, floppy blonde hair, mostly on top, caveman-like, if you will, very caveman-esque. The gentleman who came back on the social was a 5'7" black man. And so he says this to him. He goes, I don't believe you're a 5'7" black man, are you? And he goes, okay, this is my social, and gives him a brand new one. And I went, you dumb motherfucker. So he goes back, confirms it's him, comes back. And then, of course, he goes, so to my understanding, you, pointed Jared, he goes, you live right around the corner, yes? Jared goes, yes, sir. And he goes, who do you live with? He goes, I live with my grandmother. He goes, okay. He goes, and you live in the county over, correct? And I went, yes, sir. He goes, so if I have to haul you off, we have to get somebody to come cross county lines to come pick you up. And I went, fuck. And he just goes, I have to radio this in. Give me a moment. At this point, he's run the information. He goes to radio in. And I don't know why he radioed in. I'm assuming to ask if it, ticket or otherwise. But here's what the interaction he had. And he goes to his radio and he, says his code, and he goes, he asks his questions, and he gives the explanation as to what's going on. When he says what he witnessed with a white Lincoln Town car towing a blue ATV with a yellow garden hose, the response from dispatch was, I'm sorry, do you want to run that by me again? And he says it again, and you could tell they were silent for a moment, and when they keyed up to say something, they were like giggling. He starts laughing, but he's trying to hide his laughter because he wants to keep us scared. So he's laughing for a moment. He turns around and he goes, you know what? This is probably the dumbest yet wildest thing I've ever seen in my time working for this police force. He goes, you go home and tell your grandmother what you did. You go home and tell your parents what you did. I never want to see y'all do this again. You think we can make that deal? And I went, So we leave. Everything's all hunky dory. Got off scot-free. Just a warning. No ticket. Still blows my mind to this day. Fast forward. Band that Sam and I are playing in together. We are practicing for a festival that we're going to play, that we're going to compete in a battle of the bands in. The next door neighbor files a noise complaint. We were not, outside of the noise ordinance, so we were still good. But you could still call the police and be like, hey, would you mind going over there and just asking them to turn it down a little bit? Like, just a little courtesy. Not a problem. Squad car rolls up. I see the squad car. And by the way, the squad car rolled up without the headlights on. They were trying to be sneaky. This is at night, of course. This is like 8 o'clock at night. So the squad car rolls up. All of our parents are up on the front porch talking while all of us teenagers are, doing our band thing. Two officers walk up. And as they walk up past the garage door, I'm sitting behind the soundboard. And I remember I was actually just fiddling with it, like looking at it, like understanding a bit more, like we talked about before with audio equipment.
Yeah.
And as I look up, I see his name was Officer Ham, by the way. Hamm, Officer Ham. Shout out to you. You're a fucking legend. I see him and sink into my seat. I was like, oh shit. He turns and looks, smiles, points, and then turns back and starts walking up. Jared walks out of the house because he was helping us with road crew work. Walks out of the house, sees the deputy, and goes, Officer Ham, what's up? And I went, fuck. And sure as shit, he walks up, shakes his hand, and then I hear him go, yeah, your buddy's in there too, isn't he? And he goes, yeah, he's right there. And I was like, fuck. So here I am. I sit back up like I wasn't trying to hide. I'm like, hey.
Well, also for reference, I don't think you ever told your mom, right?
No.
Yeah.
And that's who was there.
Yep.
So then my mother, being the oh so gracious individual she is, overhears this and goes, how do you know my son? This was weeks later, and I had not told her of the experience that had taken place. Oh boy, you could have heard her clear across the county lines.
Mm-hmm.
There was a moment in my life where I thought, you know what? I could live amongst the wolves. If I start running, I can make it.
So there's a lot of woods where we were at. Like,
yeah,
you could have disappeared.
Yep. And the best part to end this is after he told my mother everything that happened, this smug motherfucker walks back through the garage, like steps in, and he goes, hey, hope I didn't hurt you too bad. And walks back to his fucking car. And I just went, oh, fuck. And as soon as he said that, who comes around the corner? Here comes Mom. And yeah. And so that all spawned from me towing an ATV with a 1988 Lincoln Town Car.
With a garden hose.
With a garden hose.
For fun.
Yep.
Man, middle of nowhere, Virginia will really get the creative juices flowing on what to do.
Yep. Good Lord.
All right,
there's so many more I could tell. So many more I could tell.
Yeah. Well, the rest you'll get either never or as we tell stories naturally through our episodes.
Yeah. Yep. I'm sure they'll pop up. The one you posted? Absolutely not.
The one
that's
you
staying in the
posted,
archives.
same thing. Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Gentleman handshake. Good on you. Yep. All right. Hope you enjoyed the stories. Subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Tell us an embarrassing story about you. We love reading those comments. Who knows? We might do another YouTube comment video soon. We haven't done one in a while. So drop that comment down below. Yep. Oh, also, I'm going to say this at the end because if you're watching long enough, that means that you paid attention. And I'm going to give a quick shout out here real quick. So Zelda Ness has become now a continuous watcher. Greatly appreciate you.
Thank you.
Commented saying at 49:57, On our last Am I the Asshole video, Red Angry Face, what's up with you guys asking for timestamps? Is it for you guys to go back and see what we're commenting on or something? Or like maybe for other commenters or the algorithm or something, just out of curiosity? I will tell you here and now why. And I'll say this, and then we're going to say goodbye. The reason we do that is because when y'all talk about shit, we had talked a lot on this channel, and we don't remember a lot of the shit we say.
Yeah, it's mostly for us. It is also
100%.
for other commenters, so they can get reference off of it, because
yes,
people discuss our stories, or like the stories that we read, a lot, and like there's been full on like just fucking conversation. And so to be able to specifically say like this is what I'm referencing just avoids most of the confusion for the people that actually pay attention, at least. So
it is mostly for us to go back and reference, because
we do read them.
We do read these, and we'd like to see what we said in relation to that, especially if it's a video like where we need to go back and reference it again.
Yeah.
If we do a YouTube comment series where we're like, someone goes, oh, the guy with the bent blue hat brim said this and this and this, and I have no idea where it came from.
Yeah.
I can't comment on it. But if you go at 39 minutes and 52 seconds, Joe said, fucking peanut butter is fucking disgusting or whatever. I don't know. Not true, but you get my point. We both can go back and actually reference that. So same thing here. Drop a timestamp if you see something funny. Tell us a funny story about yourself in the comments down below. If not, drop an emote, your favorite one, and we'll see y'all on Thursday.
Later.
Bye.